We're here to tell the truth.
Agape is the kind of love that is used in an arranged marriage, is needed, and that is the best for all marriage. Is the love you work on. You tell yourself, I have to develop love for this person, and we are just meeting. The opposite of today's practice, where we felt fireworks and chemistry between us. Okay, then you get into the physics of it. Then after a while, maybe biology interferes. I'm too heavy, I'm too tired, the outcome is, so we do the opposite. Rebecca is brought into Isaac. He sees her for the first time. Bible says she goes in and she's a comfort to him after his mother's death.
She was pretty, very pretty.
She's a comfort to him. He wasn't gazing at her face and being comforted. She's a comfort because of what he's doing, because of how he's relating. She's relating with her. But I'm saying that's how love is. Same thing. So that's Rebecca. There's a Rachel. There's everybody else. They would come in, and then you're like they're two strangers. Then you develop your practicing love. The foundational love there is called agape. It's an effort to be kind. It's the same kind of love used in Christianity, in all forms of Christianity. That's the kind of love it is. The love that is worked on. It's not a feeling-based love. It's patient, it's kind. Why? Because God says you should be patient and you should be kind to people. It's the love you have for your neighbor. It's the love you have for when you're trying to obey God. That's the real love that keeps a marriage, not the feelings love. All right, so it's an upside down world now. So everything is harder. That's why there are more divorces than ever too.
You said that arranged marriage is the best kind of marriage.
Let me straighten it out. The mindset that people who entered arranged marriages have is the mindset for the best kind of marriage.
Okay.
As opposed to the mindset that says, I've always liked, I like you. Because I like you, I'll marry you. Then you say, I don't like you again, so I want to unmarry you. So that's at the center of a lot of divorce. It's feeling based. But
there are people that have arranged marriage and it still doesn't work out.
I agree, and I know. But remember, I'm talking about mindset. The present generations, past, recent and to present, in the last 30, 40, 50 years, have the feelings-based mindset. Then the last 20 years is far worse. Their mindset is that we saw each other and liked, and depending on the part of the world, America has had it for a much longer time. The Western world has had it, United States of America have had it for a much longer time. They don't believe in an arranged thing. The majority of divorces are from them. Those kinds of marriages. Arranged marriages, a much, much higher percentage survive. Because you knew from the get-go, I don't know this man, I don't know this woman, but I'm sure we can learn to love each other. You always knew it was something. The Bible says in all labor there is profit. But here you are marrying not based on, there's no labor in your mind. It's fireworks. Imagine a foundation of fireworks. So, of sugar and candy. That foundation will not stand. So a generation that worships acquaintanceship, we know ourselves thoroughly. Based on that, we've concluded that we like each other. That mindset is based on liking each other. When you no longer feel the liking for each other, you automatically say the basis for our marriage has been lost. So why are we still together? But if the basis for your marriage was a commitment that I'm going to marry that woman, you are going to marry that man. I don't know him, I don't know her, but I'm making a decision that we live together and be husband and wife and have children and work on helping each other develop a family and maybe be happy in the process. That mindset sustained during the marriage, it from the beginning, you have to work on it.
Yeah.
Completely different from I'm so excited and I know. So if this is what is taught by the people of God and you know it, and you don't just marry people you know and like, and okay, we are going to work now, like you're going to the farm, it's labor, you're going to school. Remember our picture, you are heading to school, you are heading to work. Nobody thinks when you're going to the farm that you're going to sleep and that it's going to be filled with music and fun. You know it's labor. But people enter marriage with the mindset that I'm going to fun and excitement and sex and sweetness and vacations and showing off. Oh, my spouse, this is my spouse, this is mine. Do you have your... That people approach marriage with that mindset. It's a wrong mindset. Should never have existed, but it does. And it's the primary mindset. People married based on betrothal in those days. Some people, before they were born, they have been betrothed. Some, when they were small, they're betrothed. That person belongs to someone. It's known. She has the mindset, whether she sees him or not. People ask, so what the Western cultures did, they made that, oh, that is so bad, that is so mean, that is so evil. That should never happen to anybody. Imagine forcing someone to marry someone they don't even like. You that only marries those you have liked, you have married 7 now. You have married 5, only you. But if you knew earlier on in life that, well, why do you think the Bible talks about women being given in marriage? Because many times their fathers look at it. Now, an ideal situation would be that the father has a say based on love for his daughter and her well-being. Asks for her input, says, what do you think? And she says, it's okay. He looks stable. I mean, you can have a conversation in those days. Not now, where children go to school elsewhere. You can't just be the father now. It should be those that have an influence in that person's life, some oversight. It could be a pastor, it could be a guardian, it could be a relative. And they says, oh yeah, just like the old days. This person is he comes from a good family. He should make a good wife. She's chaste, she's this, she's that, all those kinds of things. That's where many mothers and fathers, how they marry. Influences from outside. I know, put aside the devil, put aside demonic factors, which are very real. Even back then, there were divorces, even in African culture, all of that. But put aside many of those, there were exceptions. The mindset was that I have been given, or I have taken you as a spouse, or I'm intended for you. We are to make a home. Many cultures in the world, and that is it. It's, you know, the whole thing about having a plan B. There often was not a plan B. So it might be tough, it might be rough, but well, we committed ourselves to each other. We made vows before people, before each other, to each other. So it is what it is. And you've heard of sometimes very wicked men, evil men, who still treat their wives very nicely. They could be vicious, they could be armed robbers, they could be bandits, but they would treat their wives well, have respect. You couldn't disrespect their wife. And their wife was there serving them. I'm talking about in 8 centuries past. In recent times, till today, there are husbands and wives like that. The mindset is, oh yeah, my spouse takes me for granted in some ways. Yes, now we all do. I take my beautiful wife for granted in certain ways. Come and scratch my back. Scratch my back, that place. You'll be wondering, what's wrong with your own hand? Now, I know it's hard to reach the back, sometimes, and it's itching at the most. But sometimes the place you can reach comfortably. You're taking your spouse for granted. She takes me for granted too. So, buy me airtime. So today I tried to scratch my back at some point, for real. And then at some point, she said she doesn't have airtime. Question, why is she telling me?
I don't know.
She can afford to buy airtime based on other things. You don't know, right, woman?
No, not at all.
I need a male interviewer. So she made sounds connected to not having airtime, and made sounds about how the router doesn't work. All that. At some point, you recapitulate, you yield. I capitulate, and I give her airtime.
You do the needful.
Needful. It's a wantful. It's what she wants. So you do it. You look at it. What does it cost you? You shake your head in wonder and awe. But come on, let life go on. So that whole mindset, I know your spouse should never take for granted. Let's stop pretending. Everybody close to anybody takes family for granted to some degree. And because of too much pretense, lying, deception, all of that, we keep hurting ourselves. I would rather not be someone who deceives myself. I've always wanted to be someone who is very honest. And I think honesty makes everybody happier. So I would suggest that we keep it. I don't know. Back to your main question: divorcing because your spouse withholds their body.
Yeah.
I've agreed that I can't answer. I'm sure there are wiser people. I had already answered in the first one. Don't send your wife away. You had asked a wife specifically. I said, don't send your spouse away, male or female. Pray for them. They can repent. Why? This is it. Now I'm talking to Christians only. I can't speak for unbelievers at all. Don't even bother. Don't even bother. Not talking to the unbeliever. Talking to the saved Christian. And I'm talking to especially the disciple. But believers generally. I commented on how people's hearts are still hard. So we act like when Moses died, people's hearts got soft. He
When
said
Jesus
it's because
came.
of the hardness of the heart that law was given. Hearts are still hard all over the place. He taught his disciples when he came and he said,
Yeah.
you know, it was due to hardness of the heart, implying that I don't want you guys to be hard-hearted.
Yeah.
Okay. People like acting as though the rules are the same for every single person at the same time, enforcing, but this is not wise. God himself doesn't do that. God provides exceptions for kinds of people. All right. So for the child of God, see it as your cross. So listen to the segment where I spoke about marriage as a cross. See it as your cross. Don't see the cross does not last forever. At some point, the cross will be dropped.